Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, officials are watching slimmer economic data, but ship movements suggest things may be turning up again. First, the OECD has cut its global growth forecast from 3.6% in 2018 to 3.3% in 2019 on concerns over trade and consumer spending. It says the global economy will slow this year as confidence wanes and trade battles bite. Europe, a big part of the OECD, is the main culprit. In the US, the ADP employment report is out today with a much tamer result than last month. Analysts are expecting another 190,000 new jobs in February after January's unusual 300,000 gain. But there has been a small undershoot with its actual level coming in at 183,000. The American trade deficit in both goods and services surged 12% to $621 billion in a 10-year high in 2018. However, that is only 3% of GDP, although it's up from 2.8% in 2018. Canada reported a smaller merchandise trade deficit in 2018, down to 1.2% of GDP from 1.5% in 2017. Meanwhile, the Bank of Canada left its policy rate unchanged at 1.75% and cast some doubt on its previous plans to tighten rates. Economic growth has slowed recently in Canada. In China, Premier Li said the country faces a graver and more complicated environment with risks that are greater in number and size. Spending on military is being increased 7.5%. And the tougher new economic policies now mean that investors can no longer rely on either Beijing or China's local governments to bail out state-owned companies that have trouble paying their debts. We'd expect more of these defaults. It is intentional policy. But this comes as China loads up local authority enterprises with more debt. A sharp re-rating in these risks is imminent as bond issuance rises. However, an interesting indicator of the real health of world trade is the number of ships passing through the Singapore Strait. Apparently, this has swelled recently so much that there are regular traffic jams of ships in the area. The Baltic Dry Index, which is still low, has risen 10% over the past month. US Treasury 10 yield is down to 2.69% today. Their 2-10 curve is now at 17 basis points, while their negative 1 to 5 curve has returned. Gold turned and is up today, up by $4 to $1,287 an ounce. US oil prices a little change today. It's $56 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is just over $65.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is at 67.7 US cents and a little lower from yesterday. On the cross rates were higher at 96.4 Aussie cents after the Aussie GDP fail. Against the euro were little changed at 59.9 euro cents. That puts the TWI at 72.5. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.